Okay, so thanks to a lot of YouTube commenters on the last video about this converter, something clicked, and I believe we may have figured out why it's not using RGB. Everybody says something about, I think it's pin 16 needs 1 to 3 volts on it. So this is like a European TV or monitor thing where if it senses voltage, it uses RGB. If it doesn't, it uses composite or something like that. I remember something about aspect ratio too. That may be a different pin. I'm not sure, but here in North America, we don't ever use that, like ever. You know, if we're going to use an RGB console with an RGB monitor, that pin is irrelevant. You know, our monitors or whatever don't really use that, and I haven't come across a different converter yet that actually needed that. But what really threw up a light bulb with me was the fact that I'm using Tim Worthington's little SCART board here. And what you'll see is right here in the middle of that little board, there is an unpopulated footprint there, and it says DC to DC converter optional. And that is the very thing that I have never had to install in this. And of course this is the only maybe second of these that I've ever put together. So I think this is actually what's going to, you know, it's labeled pin 16 right there, and it's got to one of those holes. This might actually be what provides voltage on that pin to make this work with RGB, hopefully. So I'm going to put that little charge pump on there and put this all back together and retry it. And also, just because some people said so, I went in and I checked the pins. Let's see, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 11, 13, 15. They all have traces going to them, which should be the RGB lines, so they are there. Okay, here's the charge pump installed. Okay, let's turn it on and see what happens. Nada. Maybe I hit some buttons over here. There we go. We're missing red. That's no good. Can't really say it looks much sharper either. I'm just moving around too quickly. Let's see. We're on SCART input, NTSC, 800 by 600, no. There's 768, 60 hertz. I don't know what that is. Nothing. And then 720 at 60 hertz. And 1080 at 60 hertz. For some reason I've lost red. Possible that it's, now let's see, let's hook it up to the PVM real quick. That don't quite look right either, does it? Looks like apparently I've lost. Well, it looks red there. Almost looks like I've lost green on that. Oh, crazy. That's what sucks about this monitor going out, is things look red that shouldn't look red. I gotta quit hitting those buttons. That definitely does not look right. Well, and it could be I'm going to dig further into this and see what I can find. Okay, so straight up to the RGB monitor, it looks like I've got it back to good RGB. Get a yeah, green. Okay, so I think I found my red was touching blue for some reason on the NESrgb, and I also switched sync back over to composite sync just because I'm curious if this will work with it in composite sync mode, and yes it does. So obviously the fix was to put that charge pump on there, and that people were right about that pin 16 needing voltage on there. And I will say that yes, it does look much better. I'll get you a close up. Sorry, the TV is sitting on an angle. I'd say it looks very, very good. I mean, for a $50 converter, it looks good. Much better than trying to convert composite to HDMI. Glad we got that figured out now. Now the last issue was lag. And the only way that I can really think to test that very easily come on. Here we go. Well, that's way off. That is not good. It does feel like there's some lag there, unfortunately. That's really, really hard to show on camera, though. Wow, that is missing quite a bit at the top. I wonder if I put it in 720 mode or something. 800 by 600, it looks worse, but at least it's all there. That could just be my TV. 768 looks fine. $720, it's chopped at the top again. No, anyway. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh my. Yeah, the lag is terrible. It's no good. I mean, I wish I had a setup to actually measure it and show it. I think I think Bunny Boy had a way when he was doing his HDMI kit, he was showing the lag or lack of, but it's just so noticeable. I don't like it. It's really bad. I mean, I've played a lot of this game to where I can feel the difference very easily. So, what do you want? You want good, perfect gameplay, or do you want a better quality video output? You know, that's the one thing that the NESrgb line does have, is they have very low lag, but they are way more expensive. So anyway, so again, I'd like to thank all the YouTube commenters. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have thought about putting that charge pump on there and actually figuring out that it does do RGB, and it does do it pretty well. It's just it's still a lag issue, which I think you're going to find with most HDMI converters, except for the NESrgb line, and of course Bunny Boy's kit, and of course me and Kevtress's kit that's coming out pretty soon. There's going to be, you know, next to nothing on lag there. And I think your other option is to get the SCART to component converter, because you're not trying to convert to digital there. It's still analog, and there's no lag problems there, and it does look good if your TV can accept 240p component, that is. That's the other. There are so many stupid little things about using the NESrgb with these Nintendo consoles. It's so many options, so many things to think of, monitors, you know, just cords, everything. There's so much to know and deal with. You know, it's not uncommon for me to have 100+ emails between me and one other customer trying to get an NESrgb going. It's crazy. It's insane. You know, with our HDMI kit, it's going to be like, you know, maybe like 5 or 6 things that we may need to know. It's like, do you want HDMI, yes or no? And then we install the kit. Do you want the caps done? You know, do you want I don't know. There's going to be a couple other things that we'll get to eventually, but it's just going to be, you know, simple stuff. You know, because we're not going to have to worry about SCART. We're not going to have to worry about RGB monitors. You know, it's just going to go to HDMI, which is just like a worldwide universal, you know, standard. So it's yes or no. You know, there's no screwing around, there's no in between, there's no gray areas. Just boom, done. So, having said all that, that is why this eluded me, because this is not a problem that we have in North America. You know, the pin 16 and having voltage on it and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't affect us as much as it does European worlds or European countries. So apparently that converter does have to have voltage on pin 16 for it to use RGB. That's the big tip for this converter. Thanks again.